Fife Flyers TV, sponsored by the Bay Hotel, Fife's premier wedding venue.
There's a whole host of reasons why we lose that hockey game, and why we find ourselves in this position. I think it's important to acknowledge it and not hide away from it. But it's frustrating because, everybody's frustration for a long time now has been palpable. It's no different with myself. And I think that you can sum up the year as a microcosm of this game. First couple games of the season, we come out and play fantastic. We're in that mode, and we want to keep that momentum rolling. And then we just kind of find ways to lose that momentum. I've got to give credit to Nottingham. They had a pushback. Any team's gonna want to push back into a hockey game and not simply capitulate to you. But for us, it seems that we're almost waiting for bad things to happen, and when they do, it's very hard to come back from.
I think probably one thing noticing from the stand, I think it's been the same for a few games now. There's a high rotation of guys online, so is that one of the factors as to why we just can't get any kind of momentum in games, because it's that that tiredness building up as the game goes on?
I don't agree with you. I thought we rolled three lines solidly tonight, as we do most nights. I rarely ever cut down, if any. I think it's important in this league to consistently use at minimum three lines. The only time that the lines get jumbled is after a power play, where the units are mixed up a little bit. Other than that, and a penalty kill, obviously. But other than that, the lines are pretty solid like that. I think that probably more importantly for us, and I think it's it must be said, is that I think some of our high-ender guys I have high expectations of are not performing at the level that we're used to. And there'll be a whole host of reasons and excuses for that, but I think it's important. I spoke, with Carlo after the game. I think Carlo's been kind of a shining light in this despair that everybody's feeling right now. He goes out, he looks dangerous, he looks like he's trying to create. Other guys, there's a reason why we're having a hard time producing offense, and you can see that a guy like Carlo, who fights to get to the net and battles his way to get there, and he's been rewarded lately with consistent scoring. But it's not enough. We can't put it all on the shoulders of one or two guys. We need to pick up the slack offensively, and we're not going to do that by relying on old tricks or not coming and being fully engaged in these games.
Yeah, of course, I think it's now 10 games that we've lost on the bounce now. How do you pick the guys up again to go into next weekend?
Yeah, it's very difficult. I think it's important. You have a duty to come out here and perform to your best, and I think that's been. We see highlights of that every single game, for the most part. But as a group, we really struggle putting 60 minutes together, and that's something that's honestly has plagued us the entire season. I can't, thinking back to near enough the beginning, we've really, I use the word inconsistency, but it's within games and within periods that we're having a hard time, staying fully engaged in games, and that's quite disappointing.
I think we mentioned before about bringing players in. If you've not got that kind of threat to the guys, is that maybe why you're not getting that maybe fire in them, because their places aren't under threat?
I think that's a benefit as a coach if you have leverage in a lineup, as well as resting injured guys, because we have to end up overplaying injured guys. That's just when you don't have extra players, like other teams carry 2 and 3 extra imports. Guys can get comfortable, absolutely, and then there's no threat, because you're not even really going to miss a shift, because you're going to get out there on your next rotation because you know we need everybody going. So I think there's definitely been a touch of that this year. And I've said to you numerous times that you know various points throughout the year that we needed to bring in a little bit of fresh blood to freshen up the lineup a bit.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
Cheers.